Christian, good to have you here to talk about MiFID. The process has been going for 4 years and counting. Could you just explain where we've got to?
Where we've got to at the moment is waiting for two rather big milestones to happen. One is the publication by ESMA of its regulatory technical standards, its implementing measures, as well as the Commission, who are expected a little later to publish their delegated acts, their implementing measures.
And what are the key milestones ahead of us?
After the level 2 provisions or the implementing measures have been published, they go into a period of scrutiny both by the Parliament as well as by Member States. That period of scrutiny, depending on the comments raised and the changes perhaps made to the implementing measures, could last anything from 3 to 6 months.
And what are the sticking points at the moment? What are the key issues that we and our members are focusing on?
Two of our key points, non-exhaustively speaking anyway, are circulate around bond market transparency as well as investment research. On the bond market transparency point, there's a debate raging around what is the most appropriate approach to calibrating liquidity, to in effect classifying a bond as either liquid or illiquid. And that's important because classification as liquid or illiquid brings with it the full suite of pre- and post-trade transparency requirements. So it's important to get it right.
And the other point being research.
The other point is research and around the ability of asset managers to use dealing commission to pay for investment research.
And what is the sticking point there?
Sticking point there from a cash equity research point of view is the criteria attached or the conditions attached to asset managers using the financial resources of their underlying funds to purchase research. At the moment, those criteria are quite onerous to the point where they would make it very difficult, in fact, for asset managers to use those resources. So we're concerned with those criteria and advocate a more pragmatic approach.
So there's an extraordinary amount of work going on behind the scenes, and I guess the question is, I mean, how likely is it that this will come into force in 2017 as planned?
Well, certain stakeholders have certainly made, or are starting to make, rather public requests for a delay in entry into application on the basis that the regime, in the sense of level 2, in the sense of the implementing measures, the measures that are required to actually make it work, are not finalised and seem a long way from being finalised, which again constrains or would subsequently constrain the time available both for the industry as well as for the regulatory community to prepare themselves for the 3rd of January 2017.
But as yet, AFME is not calling for a delay, unlike other associations.
No, we haven't. I think the debate around the delay question will intensify, may become more public, as and when we see the publication of the implementing measures, the regulatory technical standards, as well as the delegated acts.
And Christian, what are our members doing in order to prepare for implementation?
There's certainly a lot of work going on behind the scenes. There are areas of the regime that are relatively settled, be that at level 1 or at level 2, and focusing on those areas, members have gathered together in product-specific groups and are looking at the provisions and discussing whether or not they raise implementation issues, requests for clarity, requests for a certain interpretation of the provisions, how are they supposed to work in practice. Gathering together, discussing those views, coming out with a single view with the aim of approaching the regulatory community to get a consensus.
Christian, thank you very much.
Thank you.